Hey, and welcome everybody. This is Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust, the podcast. Hope you're all doing well today. It is Christmas Eve, you guys. Yeah, it is. It's Christmas Eve, and got a full lineup for you today. Literally have a full lineup of stuff on the show today. We're going to talk a lot about where the spiritual condition of America is. And this is probably one of the biggest things that we've got to face as a country, is where we are spiritual as a country. We're going to talk about some of the things that are happening on the economy. We're going to talk about things that are going on, nationwide, and I think you're going to love this. So stick around, you guys. We'll be back in a second for more of In God We Still Trust. Stick around, and you're going to love this. We'll be right back. Alrighty, folks, we are back, and once again, I'm Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust. I hope that you are doing really well today, folks. This is probably going to be one of our last shows of the year, and so I hope you stick around for it. We're going to talk a lot about today about the spiritual condition of our country. We are at a tipping point, folks. I got to tell you, and some things that are happening on this dais are just scary. I got to tell you, it's very scary, and so we're going to get to it. Let's talk a little bit about what has happened in as a result of the tax and spend and the efforts of the Trump administration to try to get America back on its feet. Well, evidently it has not carried over to California. Folks over in California just have not got it, because there was a article that was out in the New York Post, and it said billionaires are plotting to flee California in huge wealth tax if a huge wealth tax passes. And California could be saying bye-bye to billions in tax revenue if voters approve a controversial wealth tax on the state. The state's roughly 200 billionaires. I didn't know there were that many billionaires in the world, but evidently there are. Ultra-wealthy taxpayers are actively making plans to ditch the state ahead of the new year as Californians prepare to vote next November on a one-time 5% tax on billionaires' net worth that could slap titans like Mark Zuckerberg, president of NVIDIA Jensen Huang, and with tax bills running into the billions, multiple sources say. Elon Musk, Tim Cook, any of these guys, they don't need to be in Palo Alto in order to do what they do, said by a tax advisor by the name of David Lesperance, who works for California billionaires venture capitalist firm. And so this is a big one, guys, is that California, I guess they seem to think that they are the only game in town. And because you've got, surfer stuff going on, that you're the only game in town. But folks in these billionaires are saying, look, we're about done. Why not go to Texas? Why not go to Florida? Where they don't have, go to Mississippi. That's where you need to go. Go to Mississippi, because that's a poor state. Spread that money all over. Just kind of spread it like jelly. Spread it all over the place, because this is a ridiculous thing that's going on in our nation, where California seems to think that they can just go ahead and just screw the pooch on everybody. Before we go much further, folks, I want to remind you, we come on, we're trying to do this every day. I don't know if we're going to really make it this year. We'll make it by the end of this year, but next year, we'll try to get on as often as we can. It's just, it's a time slot thing. It's a time constraint thing. But we're always on the internet. So we're always on the internet. We're always on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on X, Instagram, that kind of stuff. So you can always see us all the time, because we're always putting out articles. We're always putting out stuff that you can see. You can also write to us. You can write to us at In God We Still Trust 1 at gmail.com. It's In God We Still Trust 1 at gmail.com. Also, got a new show that's out, folks, and I'm so excited about this new show, and it's called Before Stupid. And it's actually changed. We changed the name. It's called America Before Stupid. Okay, I didn't get the graphic up here, but it's called America Before Stupid. And you can go to America Before Stupid, or you can go to beforestupid.com and you can check it out. But very cool stuff. It's think about satirical look at the woke movement and how it has affected America. Yeah, matter of fact, you could probably think of so many things that are going on in America that you're going, I cannot believe we actually are doing this. There's still the teachers union is still trying to get people to talk about the pronouns, that kind of thing. They're still talking about trying to get young men into women's sports in California. Stuff like that. And so we take a satirical look at it and some of the cool stuff that you're going to be able to see. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go to the website right now on my other computer here. I'm going to read you maybe one of the... let's see if I can get it up here. Oops. Bring up the America. There we go. America Before Stupid. And all you got to do is type in America Before Stupid. It'll come right up. It's a very fast loading thing. So one of the articles, it says, freedom of speech expanded as long as you say the approved things. Yeah. Great article on this. New math curriculum eliminates wrong answers to preserve student confidence. Remember that when it first started, folks? A number of years ago, where you were saying, "Hey, you're right, I'm right, everybody's right, everybody gets a trophy." That's the woke movement, and how it's just basically just destroyed this land, this wonderful land we live in. So, but anyways, go to America Before Stupid, check it out, especially before they try to take it down, because it is it's just obnoxious, it's satirical, it's funny. You'll love it. America Before Stupid. Let's get back to some of these great, some of the great things that are going on in this land here, folks. Many of you probably heard about Nicki Minaj already. We're not going to talk about her now, but I just happened to notice that Nicki Minaj urges men to be more like Trump and Vance at the Turning Point USA conference that she was at. Turning Point USA just had America Fest over the weekend. Nicki Minaj was there along with a star-studded cast of people, and she's saying, you young men, you need to be more like Trump. You need to be more like J.D. Vance. You don't need to be more like Tim Walz, is what you don't need to be more like. I got to say that. There was an article, this is a Breitbart article, that talks about the issue of the Somali fraud and rampant fraud in by the Somali community, some people in the Somali community. I want to say this. I want to be very careful about this. Not every Somalian is a fraudster, okay? Just like not every Nigerian is a fraudster. But there are a disproportionate number of Somalians who've come here in the last decade or so who are all on welfare, and a lot of money is going out of our country by way of these Somali fraudsters, which makes you think something is afoot. This article is a Breitbart article, and it says Democrats from Minnesota, Ohio, Maine, and Boston, they embrace the Somalians. I'm not making this up. This is amazing. Democrats across the country are praising and supporting Somali immigrants despite growing evidence of massive antisocial fraud by the foreign arrivals. As millions of dollars in more fraud and theft of state and federal welfare funding are uncovered in Ohio, Minnesota, and other places, committed at the hands of Somali migrants, Democrats are falling all over themselves to show their unmitigated support for the fraudsters. And this is crazy. I don't know what it is about Democrats. Is that they embrace they talk about 80-20 issues. Democrats would support 100-0 issues, where 100% of the people say go that way, and they're going the other direction. For what reason? I have no idea. I just don't understand it. There used to be a time when even foolish people would say, I just don't think that crossing a road during rush hour, with a blindfold on is a smart thing. But Democrats are doing that. They're just, and in this issue right here now, folks, these Somalis have, they're using the welfare system, and I got a great data point on this. The system that they were defrauding was meant for people who were starving, people who needed housing, kids who had autism, people who needed medical care, old people, that kind of stuff. And these people these Somali refugees would set up these shell companies. They would set up these NGOs and nonprofits, and apply for this money, get it, and then not provide what they're saying to. And at first, the dollar amount was into the $1 million. Then it went to $1 billion, and now, folks, it is up to, get it, hold your pearls, $9 billion. $9 billion. Oh my gosh! When the state, the Attorney General for Minnesota came up, he said, "You know what? This is industrial scale fraud." Yeah. And guess who's supporting them? Tim Walz, the governor or the mayor of Boston. What's her name? Oh gosh, who knows what her name is? These people are stupid. It is just beyond stupid that these people are doing such things, and we've got to wonder what the spiritual state of America is. Let's do this. We're going to take a really quick break, folks. We'll come back. We're going to start talking about what the spiritual state of America is. I think you're going to agree that we've got some major issues in America. This is Pastor Sherman Ray. This is In God We Still Trust. We'll be back in just a minute. Hang on. Yeah. We're in a big trouble, folks. We're in trouble in America. In the last segment, we were talking about what's going on in America. The Somali refugees and everything else. And I started a book, reading a book, about a year ago, and it's taken a long time. And the book is really it's called The Founder's Bible. And The Founder's Bible is many of you have heard of David Barton. David Barton's a brilliant pastor, brilliant speaker, brilliant historian, that kind of stuff. Well, anyways, he got together with some guys, and they put together a Bible that that has in it many quotes from the Founding Fathers, your perspectives, some of the writings, that kind of stuff. And it takes you through the entire Bible, and it just peppers all throughout it the Christian heritage, the Christian past, and the Christian foundation of this of America. Now, we're not gonna. I don't want to tell anybody that America is a perfect country, because it's not. There's no doubt about it. Because if there's a man there, there's imperfection. But the ideal of America is perfect. Okay, inalienable rights, freedom, liberty, those kinds of things. And so, and we're not there yet, but we're really getting close. But the thing that made America different than what it is now is what we're going to talk about here in this segment. And we're going to try to make it as quickly as possible, but it's well worth your time. Our founding fathers believed in certain ideals, and in certain. Let me give you one of the, for instances. They believed that the words that you spoke, especially as a citizen, meant something, and that cursing was one of those things. Okay, cursing. I know, you're thinking cursing. Yes, George Washington really believed that how can you aspire to greatness when your vocabulary is like that of a longshoreman, and no slight on longshoremen, but you know what I'm saying, salty, perverse, cursing, foul. And so he encouraged his leaders and the people in the military, no cursing at all. It was punishable. Physically, they were punished. They beat them. Yeah. And they said, how can you want to be in a country that is a Christian country, a Christian nation, and call down the blessings from God if you're cursing? And it literally, that's the way it was, for the longest time. And compare that to where we are now. You go to any school right now, I don't care what grade level you go to, guys. You can start in first grade. You can definitely go to high school, definitely there. And you hear some of the stuff that comes out of these kids' mouths, and you go, oh my gosh. I cannot believe these kids speak this way. With vigor, right? And they just yell it out, and they practice it. Our nation has seen a moral, social, cultural decay over the years, and it's going to take a long time for us to get to a place, if ever, to get back to a place where we have a moral superiority over those who say that they're not that way. Some of the ramifications, some of the things that are going on in America right now, and let me tell you how this, and we talked about this yesterday, that this really starts at the top of the food chain. Our leadership. Our leadership needs to be people who are beyond reproach, not people who go around cussing because they seem to think it's cool. Remember just a few months ago that the Democrat Party seemed to think it was cool that they cussed. And they, I would never even play some of the stuff that these guys were saying, but they were literally getting out on using their platform, having their pin on, saying that I'm a congressman or I'm a senator, and they would just cuss and they would talk about Trump and they would do blah 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, if you were in George Washington's army, guess what? If you were in his military, you'd been beaten publicly because of that. And now it's accepted. It's fine. Okay. Am I giving President Trump a pass on this? Absolutely not. I think he needs to check himself too. Okay. But for other people to say that this is license for them, that's wrong. And that's why it's so important that we as a country get back to a moral high ground that founded this country. We can't say that we are a godly nation when we're just no better than the scoundrels that we're fighting against morally. We've got our a good thing that did happen, and I think this dovetails on this, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the next segment, is that America is not by any means on its way out. No, America is still a wonderful country. America is still a city high upon a hill, but we've got a lot to do. Anyways, next segment, folks, it'll be a little shorter, but we'll be back in just a second, and we're going to talk a little bit more about America. This is Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust. We'll be back in just a second. Alrighty. Well, fantastic, folks. Things are going good, folks. I'm really excited about it. I hope you didn't get down, finding out that America has got some reprobates in it, because we do. I don't think it should be a shock to anybody that we've got some people that are just in America, but it is what it is, right? We got to pray for them. Let's talk a little bit about the unemployment rate, folks. This is really important, because unemployment claims fall again last week, and they remain historically at low levels. It's just great. There was a Breitbart story talking about the let's see if I can bring this up. Talking about the U.S. economy. The U.S. economy grew at a 4.3 clip over the last quarter. It's fastest in 2 years, and I think these are fantastic numbers. And it goes against what these prognosticators are saying, that that America is just on its way out. No, America's doing just fine. Also, it's funny how people are saying that that the president has done nothing, that he can't do anything, and nothing's going great in the country. I'm sorry, I'm trying to bring up this next article here. Jasmine Crockett had something to say about it too. That she was talking about how she didn't believe that the numbers for the border crossings is down. She just couldn't believe it, and I'm thinking, wow, Jasmine, what do you think they are? I just don't understand some of these people, how they can go around saying, oh no, doesn't work that way. So here, once again, it's a Breitbart story, and Jasmine Crockett, she says the numbers are lower. The administration says the numbers are lower, but she said she doesn't believe it. During an interview aired on Tuesday on NBC's Meet the Press Now, Representative Jasmine Crockett, who's probably going to be out of a job here pretty soon, responded to a question on if the Trump administration had brought border encounters down by saying she'll acknowledge what is being reported is that the border encounters are lower. I will also say that we know that this is an administration that has not been the most honest when it comes to reporting numbers. And he has invoked a very inhumane way of carrying out immigration. Okay, and she went on to say that basically, I don't think the numbers are what they say they are. And I don't know, Jasmine Crockett. Is she really what America needs as a representative? I just don't think so. I just don't think so. That she is one of those people that everybody should go, yeah, that's who we want representing us, is somebody like Jasmine Crockett. As a matter of fact, I think that America deserves better than Jasmine Crockett. Don't you? I mean, she's a nut. She's just a nut. And so, what are you going to do? Anyways, we're going to go, this is a short segment. We're going to go a little, we're going to finish up with a longer segment at the end here, guys. So stick around. This is Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust. We'll be back in just a second, folks, for our last segment. You're going to love it. Stick around. We're going to talk about Hunter Biden just a little bit, okay? We'll be back in just a second. Bye-bye. Alrighty, folks, we are back. This is Pastor Sherman Ray, and this is In God We Still Trust. I told you folks a little bit about a brand new, offering we've got up, and it's called America Before Stupid. Yeah, America Before Stupid is just it's become a passion of our staff. We're getting some writing in done. I'm just very excited about it. So if you get a chance, folks, go to the website America Before Stupid. I know the graphic doesn't say what it is. We've changed the name of it from Before Stupid to America Before Stupid. The graphic has changed a little bit, but the sentiment is the same. Think of Mark Twain. Mark Twain, who's now in America right now, and he's going, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe that this America is what it is. So satire, funny, irreverent, cutting edge, witty, getting to the point, talking about and shining a light on how stupid the culture is now because of the woke movement. So if you like satire, you love a turn of a phrase, go to America Before Stupid, you will love it. Okay. Anyways, many of you heard that Hunter Biden was in an interview, 5 hour. Can you believe that? A 5-hour interview that he was in. And he slammed his father's immigration policies, the 2021 Afghanistan withdrawal. He says, I don't even know if I'm a Democrat anymore. This guy, I don't know if this guy, Hunter Biden, is, on drugs or what. He just says the most crazy things. But doesn't that speak to how frustrated Democrats are at their own people, at their own policies? Hunter Biden tore into his father, former Democrat President Joseph Robinette Biden, calling his handling of the 2021 U.S. troop withdrawal from Afghanistan an obvious effing failure. I won't say the word. You get the idea. In addition to expressing frustration with his father's immigration policies, the shocking criticism, along with sharp attacks on his father's immigration policies, came during a 5-hour interview on the Sherman Ray show, and it's a podcast. Yeah. While discussing the U.S. Armed Forces, Hunter criticized his father's execution of the 2021 withdrawal from Afghanistan, calling it an obvious failure. I'm going to say once again, he used the colorful language. I don't know why they call it colorful. It was vulgar. Effing failure. 2022 Department of Defense report revealed that more than $7 billion in U.S.-funded military equipment was left behind, subsequently seized by the Taliban. I am finding out that Democrats are becoming more and more honest about their failures. And because they can see that they're full of hooey. My thing that I am fearful of is that the American people aren't hearing this. The American people are not hearing that Democrats themselves are going, we're full of hooey. And the midterms, when they come up, which is next year, that they're going to vote for Democrats. They're going to flip the House, impeach Donald Trump, impeach all the people who are trying to make America great again, and turn this country into, once again, just a cluster of confusion. That's what I'm fearful of, folks. Can we be like the Black Robed Regiment? And this just came to my mind just now because I was reading about them again last night. Many of you may know who these guys are and what I'm talking about. The Black Robed Regiment were a group of pastors who basically recruited, trained, and encouraged the Revolutionary War. Okay? These men were not only the chaplains, but they were actually the regiment leaders and on the front lines of the fighting for the independence of our country. And they were called the Black Robed Regiment. They were feared. They were feared, and they were hated by the British because these pastors had sway over much of America. And we pastors were the ones who were encouraging the people, stand up for liberty, stand up for freedom. We need to invoke that again, folks. Pastors all across this free plain. If you're listening, folks, I am calling on you right now, pastors. Join us as part of the Black Robe Regiment. Okay, I know it's not official yet, but maybe it should be. Okay, the Black Robed Regiment needs to be revived again all across America. I believe, I may be wrong, that that's the reason why the 501c3 tax thing came into existence, was to mute, to stifle, and to shut up pastors all across America. And now, 100 years later, 250 years later, you've got pastors who would never say a word about anything political. But this year, guess what happened this year, guys? They removed that weight, they removed that umbrella that said pastors could not say anything about politics, even in the pulpit. So I'm going to encourage you, folks, the only way that America is going to be holy again, the only way America is going to start praying again, the only way America is going to be great again is by you and I saying something about what's going right in America and saying what's going wrong in America. And if we don't do it, guys, we can only blame ourselves, and shame on us. Anyways, this has been Pastor Sherman Ray for In God We Still Trust. I encourage you folks, once again, go ahead and download this video, download the audio of it, share it with all your friends, share it with your pastors. Okay, share it with your pastors, and hopefully we will make America great again. Once again, folks, we will see you again in a couple of days. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve. I hope that you have a wonderful day sharing love and fellowship with your friends and family. And we will see you again right after Christmas for more of In God We Still Trust. You guys have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.